Hello. Welcome back to Snugglewood, young Dreamlynx. My name is Arin. Snuggle down into your favourite quilt and let tonight's calming tale and soothing sounds relieve you of any worries and guide you towards a deep, restful night's sleep under these beautiful stars above. And so our story begins in a place called Hearthstone Hamlet and the sleepy giant tale of Bubbling Tavern. Nestled among the emerald hills of Hearthstone Hamlet, the Bubbling Tavern stood as a beacon of quiet wonder. Its walls, made from smooth river stones, glinted softly as if kissed eternally by morning dew. Tall windows framed by curling ivy glowed warmly, casting golden light upon the cobblestone path that gently wound its way to the wooden door. Above this door hung a hand-carved sign, swaying lazily with the softest of evening breezes. The letters, etched deeply and delicately, spelled Bubbling Tavern, each stroke as if handwritten with care and loving precision. Inside, the air danced with a cosy medley of sounds. The gentle clink of earthen mugs being softly set down, the lazy crackle of an enchanted hearth, and the rhythmic pleasure of bubbling liquids drew you in deeper. Shelves lined with vials, flasks, and gilded jars wrapped the room in hues of amber, cerulean, and lavender. Each container glittered gently, as if alive with their own secret charm. The heart of the tavern was its centerpiece, a grand stone fountain that whispered magic in every swirl and drop. From its rounded edges, liquid crystal flowed effortlessly, catching and refracting the ambient light into fleeting rainbows that seemed to pulse gently in time with the steady beat of contentment that filled the air. This wasn't water, as some might assume. It was an ancient concoction, its origins older than any whisper of time found in Hearthstone's many tomes. The villagers call it Bruce, and it was this drink that had made the Bubbling Tavern a safe haven for weary wanderers and wistful dreamers alike. The fountain, crafted from smooth, lunar-grey stone, mined from crescent caverns, oozed elegance from the carvings that adorned it. Spiraling vines, blooms of unfamiliar flowers, and the soft motif of tiny stars running along the base seemed alive, glowing spectacularly when no one was looking. The basin brimmed with Bruce, the liquid swirling lazily in endless patterns that never repeated. Curious eyes that gazed too long might find themselves entranced. So the keeper of the tavern ensured that its hypnotic allure was broken now, and then by the gentle melody that floated through the air. A song conjured by the tavern's own ethereal spirit. The recipes of Bruce were closely guarded, said to involve rare blooms that only opened under moonlight. Dew collected from treetops at the break of dawn, and the tiniest pinch of summer wind caught the height of the solstice. Its magic, however, was its true ingredient. Each sip seemed to map out a different realm of tranquility for the drinker. The lightest glass coaxed warm memories of childhood laughter beneath sun-dappled trees, while a richer brew might paint vivid dreams of starlight voyages across calm seas It was said that no two glasses could ever taste alike, for Bruce listened carefully to its drinker and wove its flavour from the threads of their longing. Seated quietly in a corner booth, a collection of villagers had gathered as they did nearly every evening. Their faces were softened by the same glow that filled the tavern, their cheeks warmed by sips of Bruce. Renaud, the local gardener, with soil still nestled gently under his nails, laughed as Frela, the dusk weaver, spun yet another of her tales about the threads of twilight she swore were alive. Across the room, Elsin, the stargazer, ran her fingers across the rim of the glass, the Bruce within responding with wonderful echoes of constellations she had charted months ago. Each visitor, regular or new, found a place within the comfort of the Bubbling Tavern, a place where there was nothing more to yearn for, only the gentle rhythm of here and now. The warmth of Bruce wasn't simply an inner comfort, for as twilight unfolded into the night, the tavern seemed to breathe in unison with the surroundings. The candles flickered just so, their flames swaying as if taking part in an invisible melody. The stones of the hearth seemed almost softer to the eye, their grain smoother as shadows played across them. Even the wooden beams above, ancient yet sturdy, groaned gently in what could only be described as pure relaxation. Outside, Hearthstone Hamlet rested in peaceful silence, a mirror of gentle serenity within the tavern. The stone paths that led to and from the Bubbling Tavern were now sheened with silver moonlight, each stone glimmering with brilliance, as if proud to guide the steps of those wandering through. The soft chirps of hidden nightingales sang in harmony with the bubbling fountain inside, their tunes weaving together in perfect, effortless synchronicity. Returning to the tavern, these were not normal vessels. They held the ears of secret recipes and rare concoctions that had made this place what it was. One such brew, known as Lanvier, was a midnight dark syrup slow to swirl, thick with the essence of storms calmed just before dawn. Another, the pale blue Zephyrin, was cool to the touch and gradually twinkled, crafted from the northern frosts kissed by auroras. For those who entered the tavern, these elixirs were windows to dreams, each sip leading them gently towards the boundless fields of easeful rest. And yet, in all the wonder and magic, there remained a sense of simplicity, a grounding that came from not the intricate enchantment, but the feeling this place invoked. It was not a grandiose palace, nor something etched with ornate details. Rather, it was the gentle familiarity of laughter shared, shoulders unwound, moments stretched without expectation. A place where time seemed to fold away politely, asking no one to rush or remember the days outside its wooden doors. The Bubbling Tavern listened. It listened to the gusts of the gentle winds that pushed open its doors, to the hesitant breaths of newcomers creeping in with awestruck wonder, to the quiet sighs of those who lowered themselves onto its soft, cushioned seats as though hoping for shelter from the world. always it offered what they needed most: a step closer to serenity. The Bubbling Tavern stood as a testament to the harmony between magic and the mundane, a sanctuary where the complexities of the world unravelled into simplicity. For all its wonder, there was a heartbeat to this place, steady, enduring, and comforting. The story of the Bubbling Tavern was deeply intertwined with Hearthstone's lore, a history that stretched beyond memory, whispered from one generation to the next. But there was one tale that all inhabitants knew, whether told by firelight in quiet homes or murmured on candlelit evenings within the tavern's walls: the tale of the sleepy giant. Though the tavern stood at the heart of the hamlet, its foundation was bound to something far older, something tucked beneath the rolling hills that embraced this tranquil settlement. Long before Hearthstone Hamlet grew into the safe, magical haven it was today, the land where it lay was wild, untamed, and untouched by the delicacy of stone paths and pouring fountains. It was said that during those ancient times, a gargantuan being roamed these lands, a creature of great size and power, with footsteps that carved valleys into the earth, and breaths that stirred the skies into furious storms. The villagers, despite their adoration, called him the Sleepy Giant, for he was not a destroyer nor a beast of wrath. Instead, his presence was marked by slow movements and a gentle demeanour. His shoulders, rising like mountain ridges, bore the weight of ages, and his heavy eyelids, half closed as if forever on the verge of sleep, concealed wisdom born of a time where the world was younger and wilder. The giant was no stranger to silence. He would wander, his immense form kneeling to study tiny flowers, or resting against the hills that cradled him, his breathing blending harmoniously with the lull of the wind and stream. Over countless years, his travels brought him to the very hollow where the tavern now stood. Here, even ancient records spoke of a profound stillness, a balmy peace more encompassing than anything the giant had encountered elsewhere. It was said the land whispered to him, coaxing his heavy form to rest at last beneath the starlit sky. The giant obliged, folding his immense body beneath the crescent blanketing of the hills, laying his vast arms over the soft earth as though claiming the ground in an internal protective hug. And though slumber claimed him for centuries, the villagers believed that his spirit mingled with the land, a guardian presence that still resonated through the very air. The hamlet's humble beginnings were rooted in this myth. Early settlers led to the site by winds that carried a peculiar warmth, found themselves drawn to the whispers of the land and the calm that hung heavy in the air, as though the whole world sighed with relief. They believed the giant's rest had blessed the soil, and with careful respect they wove their lives around this sacred presence. The Bubbling Tavern emerged centuries later, not as an act of ambition or grandeur, but as an offering, a place where the secret magic covered the giant's essence and could take tangible form, welcoming all weary travellers just as the land had once welcomed him. It is said that the tavern's fountain and its mesmerising bruise draw directly from veins of stillness the sleepy giant had once infused into the land. The continuous swirl of its mystical liquid mimics the fathomless dreams the giant is said to experience during his unending rest. Some claim that if one listens closely to the soft bubbling of the fountain, they may hear the slight whisper of the giant breathing beneath the hills, rhythmic and calm, tethering the tavern and its patrons to a deep, inexplicable tranquility. Hearthstone Hamlet's surroundings bore further evidence of the sleepy giant's presence. The crescent caverns from which the tavern's fountain was mined were said to echo with the sound of his heartbeat, a deep reverberation that no miner or traveller could fully explain. The caverns themselves were a labyrinth of smooth lunar-grey stone, illuminated by veins of crystalline blue, reminding those who ventured within of celestial rivers flowing beneath the world. Yet no matter how far one wandered within these caves, they would always find themselves gently guided back to where they began, as though the giant himself wished for no harm to come to those who explored his resting place. Even the flora of Hearthstone carried echoes of the giant's essence. Moonbloom flowers, rare and luminous, lined the whispering fields that surrounded the village, opening only during nights when the breeze was the softest. Their pale silver petals glinted randomly, catching starlight as though they drank not just from the soil but from the skies above. These blooms, central to the crafting of Bruce and other tavern elixirs, were said to grow only where the giant's energy was strongest, offering those who partook of their essence not merely sustenance, but a momentary bridge to this eternal calm. But not all aspects of the tale were steeped in peace. Some ancient legends spoke of the giant's waking moments, rare though they were, when disturbances to his rest filled the skies with a tempestuous unease. The tales claimed that when he shifted even slightly, vast tremors rippled across the lands, rivers changed courses, and forests swayed in unison, as if bowing to his power. Yet these disruptions were never born of malice. The sleep of such a being was fragile, vulnerable to the discord of the world above, and so it was the silent duty of Hearthstone Hamlet to ensure the tranquility of their surroundings endured. To this day, rituals of silence and harmony are practiced by villagers, a tradition interwoven seamlessly into their lives. The Festival of Golden Solace, for instance, celebrates the balance between slumber and wakefulness, light and shadow. During this time, children of the hamlet release paper lanterns into the night, symbolic of kindling dreams and reinforcing the communal bond of stillness. The festival's celebrations, though joyous, are subdued, as reverence for the giant's rest governs all revelry. While peace prevails across Hearthstone, travellers to the Bubbling Tavern often feel the subtle pull of the sleepy giant's story, even if they do not know it by name. The moment they cross the tavern's threshold, a weight they did not know they bore is lifted, replaced by sensations of timelessness and ease. It is the essence of the giant, the delicate balance between unyielding strength and unimaginable gentleness, that cradles them, a silent reminder of the vast, unseen forces that shape even the smallest corners of the world. The giant's sonic aura, if it can be truly heard at all, belongs not to Hearthstone alone, but to anyone who steps within the tavern's gentle realm. They will hear it, perhaps, in the ripple of Bruce, as it pools in fragile glass, or in the flicker of candlelight that moves with a rhythm both marvellous and purposeful, as though dancing to the notes of an ancient song. They will sense it in the deep stillness of the hills, in the way the moonlight casts soft halos across the tavern's wooden beams, and in the way the air seems to breathe. It is an invitation, unspoken but undeniable, a reminder that beneath all complexity lies a single, resounding truth. Rest is not just an act, but a state of being. The end of the evening at the tavern was its softest symphony. Glasses empty yet content were placed back with muted clinks, and chairs creaked intentionally as each guest stretched, their yawns contagious to those near. The enchantments of the tavern turned far lighter, slowing the bubbles in the fountain and dimming the warm glow of the walls just so. The keeper of the Bubbling Tavern then offered her hand to guide each guest out, smiling gently as they thanked her for another night filled with peace. And when she locked the door behind them, a faint whisper seemed to trail after, promising yet again that it would be waiting tomorrow, waiting with open doors and warm Bruce, for those who needed its gentle embrace. For in the world of chaos and clamour, there was always room for a little bit of magic, and the Bubbling Tavern had plenty to share. So come rest your weary feet, wanderer, and sip from the soothing elixir of dreams and memories. For this is a place where longing is woven into flavour, where peace is poured into every glass. And amidst the bubbling and brewing, you may just find that your greatest wish has already been granted. So come, sit, and listen closely. The Bubbling Tavern has a story to tell, one that begins with each and every guest who walks through its doors. And so the sleepy giant slumbers on, cradled by whispered winds and starlit fields, his essence eternal in the heart of Hearthstone Hamlet. His gentle presence is a reminder that even the mightiest forces of the world find strength in stillness. The villages, the travels, the Bubbling Tavern itself, all are a part of his dream, an intimate harmony woven between the waking world and the divine depths of rest. For as long as the giant remains at peace, so too does the hamlet thrive, a beacon of tranquility in a restless world.